Hi everyone, I'm Natalie, aka the Vegan Veteran. This week I'm going to do a tofu special. So I'm going to show you how to prep and cook tofu. I've purposely chosen recipes that are firstly quite easy but also versatile. At the moment we've got the whole COVID-19 things going on. The shops are a little bit crazy. I think generally speaking, the vegan stuff doesn't seem to be so affected, and there's more fresh stuff available than tinned and frozen and things, but I know it does vary from area to area. But I think these recipes are versatile enough that you can swap different ingredients in and out, so don't feel like you need to keep going to the shop for these recipes. The other thing is that I'm using a couple of different types of tofu, so hopefully again you can at least find one of them in the shops. So the thing to know with tofu, I guess, is that plain tofu as it comes doesn't have a lot of flavour, so you have to kind of inject flavour into it. And to do that, the key is that you have to remove the moisture first so that it can absorb flavour. So the first tofu I'm going to start with is a standard organic tofu. I've got cauldron here, which you can get in most supermarkets. And I've already drained this. It comes in liquid, but then you want to remove as much of the liquid as possible. So there's a couple of different ways of doing this. You can use a tofu press like one I've got here. I'll show you how to use that in a second. If you don't want to buy a tofu press, you can just put it in like a bowl and then put like a plate and something heavy on top to kind of squeeze the water out. And you want to leave it for at least half an hour to get as much of the liquid out as possible, longer if you can. So tofu presses, you'll see they come in sort of three parts. You've got this bottom one, which is where the liquid collects. You've got this one that's got holes in it so the liquid drains out, and then this on top, which is kind of doing the actual squeezing of the liquid. So you get your tofu and you put it in this second section with the holes in, like so. And then you put your press on top. And there's these elastic bands at the side to ping down. So pull them down as far as you can. I think I'll just put them on the second setting just to show you. And the same on this side. Ooh. And then you put these white sort of clips at the top across, just to sort of secure it. And then basically all the liquid is going to be collecting in this white bit at the bottom. So like I said, the longer the better, but you could sort of do this one day, leave it in the fridge, and then have it ready the next day to start cooking with. So the next thing we want to be doing is preparing a marinade for this. So once the liquid's out, as I said, you can then inject some flavour in. So I'm going to make a marinade, and there's loads of marinades online, so again, don't feel like you have to do this one and get ingredients in. But the one I'm doing is kind of well, it's a mix of things really, but I'm going to use miso paste. I'm a bit obsessed with miso paste. I use it in everything, soups, salad dressings, everything. So I'm going to use about 2 teaspoons of that, I think. And again, I think it's quite similar to a salad dressing in the sense that with marinades, I like to have something a bit sweet, a bit salty, a bit acidic in there. Although, you know, as long as obviously they're vegan, you could use a meat marinade that you used to use before, like a kind of barbecue thing or something. The next thing I'm going to put in, I've chopped up half a fresh red chilli and some garlic. That's just one clove of garlic that I've finely chopped and then pressed with a spoon. And I'm not going to add soy sauce, I don't think, because I think the miso is quite salty as it is. but I'll add a little bit of, I've got golden syrup here, you could use maple, agave, whatever in there, so just a big squeeze of that. And then some olive oil. And finally, I'm gonna, for the acidic bit, I'm gonna add some lemon juice. So I think I'll add a whole lemon juice in there. And then just mix that up. Make sure that smells nice. And then basically I would probably add, once the tofu is finished pressing all the water out, just put it in a container with the marinade. You might need to water it down a bit or add a bit more oil. You don't need to like cover the tofu completely, but you want the base to be covered so that it's sucking up that flavour. And then I'd just kind of drizzle the tofu over it, or keep kind of turning it or basting it, I guess, as you would with a meat marinade. So that's the first thing. You can also just buy pre-marinated tofu. So again, this one's cauldron. You can get this in the fridge section of most supermarkets, which is easier, obviously. Although I like to think my marinade tastes better, but others may disagree. And you can eat this hot or cold, so you can put it in salads and things. So it's quite handy, I guess, if you haven't got time for all of this, because it does take a little bit of time. Then you know you've got that as a easy sort of fallback. The final type of tofu I'm going to show you is silken tofu, which kind of the clue's in the name. It's sort of silky in texture. It's a lot softer than the firm tofu. Where you might have come across this before is in miso soup. It's like the little cubes of tofu you get in miso soup. And I'm going to show you how to make scrambled tofu with this. Now, where I went wrong with scrambled tofu a lot when I started trying to make it was that I expected it to be quite a quick thing to make. So because I guess I was thinking it would be like scrambled egg, which obviously takes a few minutes to make. Scrambled tofu takes quite a long time. The reason being, again, it's all about the liquid. So you want to fry off some of the liquid so that it's not too like slimy and watery. So the first thing is to just mash it up. And you'll see here I've got some vegetables cooking. So I've just use whatever you've got in the fridge, but I've just cooked some yellow pepper, some mushrooms and some spring onion. And then I just add the mashed up tofu once it's mashed. And then again, really, you can add whatever you want to it. Generally, most recipes will say about adding turmeric, and that's just for colour, as you would with curries. You know, you're not meant to taste turmeric in recipes. If you do taste it, you've probably added too much. So it's just for the colour, to give you that yellow colour, so it looks a bit more like scrambled egg. I generally add a bit of salt as well to draw out some of the liquid. And whatever spices you want. I'm going to add coriander. Dried coriander is one of my favourites. And then basically you just want to cook that down. probably cook this for a good 10 minutes or so to get rid of as much of the liquid as possible. And this is a really great alternative to scrambled egg. You know, obviously just have it in all the same kind of ways that you would normal standard egg. It's a really great sort of vegan breakfast or yeah, high protein snack. It's quite good if you're worried about sort of macros and things and you're trying to build up your protein. You know, if you have this with some you know, baked beans and vegan sausages and things like that, then it's quite a good way of hitting those protein levels. So I'll leave that cooking. I'm not gonna obviously keep the video going the whole time that's cooking because that would be a while, but I'll include a photo in the notes or at the end of the video so that you can see what it looks like when it's done. So yeah, that's tofu. If you have any questions or comments or you know, especially recipes that you found are really good for tofu, there's some, I mean, I've focused on savoury recipes today, but you can also use tofu to make some really great desserts. They're really good for vegan cheesecake, vegan like mousses and things. You can use silken or firm. They're so easy. You just blend it up with some other like sugar and ingredients, and then yeah, put it in the fridge basically. So that's super easy. I could show you something like that if people are interested, or yeah, please share what has worked well for you, if there are marinades that you've tried that you've really enjoyed. So yeah, and as always, please share, please let me know what you think. It really helps if you tell other people about this vlog and in terms of helping me promote it and stuff. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.